So basically, we're going to do this video, alright, to explain gun laws in Malta. Alright, we are two shooters. I'm from Malta, obviously. Yeah, that's shit.
I'm from Malta, obviously.
Well, the first part was good, no?
Um, to be honest, when we talk about guns, no one really knows that Malta actually can own guns. One thing is that guns are illegal here. It's actually the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, just like some people seen the video in As Daily where we talked about gun laws in Iceland, it's actually almost the same thing.
Yes, and we have the same kind of laws. Basically, in Malta, it's target shooting. We only have weapons, firearms for target shooting. Alright, so we don't have fully automatics
Unless you are a collector and they have to be pre-1945 or 1946, such as MG42s, PPSH 41s, brand guns, those sorts, because they're not considered firearms, they're considered collectors.
firing. I mean, they're collectors.
You can have ammunition for them, but you can't shoot them.
For now, I guess. Maybe in the future.
Maybe in future.
Alright,
But also, sorry, but I'd like to point this out. The guns you can see in the United States, you can see in Malta. Only their gun laws are more freely, and you can have automatic. Malta can have semi-automatic only.
and a good point to mention is we can't have modern fully automatic. So, for example, enough fully automatic AKs, the only semi.
Or AR-15s.
Or AR-15s are fully automatic. These are all semi. There's no fully automatic. So we don't have any collectors.
In Malta, you can obviously have, like you said, AKs and ARs, but they have to be converted to semi-automatics only.
And sometimes that doesn't work because demilitarized weapons are banned. Actually, you can't have a fully automatic converted to semi. Even though there are some examples here, but I think for the lowest part they were imported.
And ammunition-wise, Malta can have almost every type of ammunition, from slugs or buckshot to full metal jackets for AKs and ARs.
But you can't have armor piercing.
No, armor piercing and incendiary rounds and explosive rounds are banned. But magazine capacity, I don't think we have.
No limits. I have 40 rounders, 60 rounders.
I have 30 round magazines at home. You can have drum mags as well.
It's not like Canada with their 10 rounds.
It's not like in England where you can have 10 round magazines.
England, it's another story. So let's start by asking, what does a shooter have to do to get firearms, basically, in Malta? So, start or?
Yes. Well, first of all, you have to be 18. 18 is the legal age to own weapons. You have to join a club, get a membership, and you have to take a course with them. Now, when you take a course, they will tell you to go to a doctor so they can have a certificate saying that you have never had a mental illness, to go to the police station to get your conduct, so they see that you had a clean background, no tickets, no fine, nothing bad basically. And then the police also will ask you questions on your relationship with your family,
So
neighbors.
basically, after you do the course, you go do the exam, kind of.
Yes. And the exam is with the police headquarters. It only takes a few minutes.
You need to do an NSP, or just check
Normal safety
procedure.
Obviously,
Logic, it's only logical.
and also, when you keep weapons in your house, also you have to find a place to keep your ammunition and your guns separate. So if someone breaks in, he finds a gun but doesn't find the ammunition, finds the ammunition but doesn't find the gun.
Yes, that's it. Basically, that's how you get your license. But there are three types of license. We have license, collector's license A, the one that we mentioned of the fully automatics and other collectors, rifles, whatever. So we have the target shooter license A, so I have the second one.
Target shooter, fun fact, you can have 10 guns maximum for target shooter.
Yes, I will mention them. And there's the collector's license B as well. So this was the difference. So we start with the collector's license A, like we mentioned. There's you can own fully automatics pre-1946, yep. And any other semi-automatic rifles. You can put how many as you like on this license, and regarding number, you can have infinite if you have a lot of money. I don't know about the
Uh,
ammunition.
the license B is mainly for shotguns and air rifles.
Yep, shotguns and rifles and
And
flintlocks as well.
Flintlocks and I believe
what-
crossbows as well.
I think the crossbow is a bit separate. I don't know about it exactly because I'm not interested in crossbows, but
the crossbows.
it's interesting. I have no idea how
But
to
they're
work.
cool, man. It's in
Yeah.
Walking Dead.
Yeah,
They're
of
badass
course.
with that.
But I think that's a bit expensive.
There's there's a number of ranges in Malta and in Gozo. In Malta, you can only shoot at the moment until 2019. Shoot only shotguns and pistols in Malta for the time being.
Yeah, and
They are-
22 rifles. Only rifles that are limited to 22 basically.
Yes, I'm point two. In the coming year, they are creating a new range for clay pigeons, airsoft paintball, rifles and pistols. But for now, for the time being, it is only used for clay pigeons. In fact, it held the Clay Pigeon World Cup of 2018.
Yep, and this is all going to be in 2019 for the rifles and more. So right now, all we have to do is we need to go up to Gozo. Alright, it's a
And-
sister island in Malta.
Yes.
There's a small range, I only think it's about 30 meters, where we can
Or I think
shoot our
50
rifles. 15 maximum, 50 I guess.
About 50 meters. It's a small range, but but all the instructors, they're skilled and keen to teach everyone. Some of them are ex-police and
Most, yeah.
ex-army.
Most groups, these what do you call them? Clubs, they're all made up of or long-time shooters, ex-military, ex-police force. So we're talking on the licenses. It's basically license A, target shooter license A is the license you need to get if you want to just target shoot. Basically, as Chris mentioned, you can only have 10 rifles or pistols. It's 10 rifles or pistols. Basically, have some examples over here
On the type.
on the
of,
title.
of guns. Like for instance, if you want to buy a bolt action rifle and it's also historical, you can get either a Mosin Nagant or a Mosin K90. This was actually used in 1941, and it has its stamp here. Although this was made in Germany, it was used in the Portuguese War or Spanish Civil War. It's bolt action, 5-round clip, and it fires a very powerful round. Those used in the also Boer War, I believe. Ammunition for this, unfortunately, is quite expensive. Bullets are ranging.
Since we're an island, we need to import everything. So
Not all ammunition is expensive. Like for the AK-47 is cheap because it's just surplus. For the AR, it's brass, so it's slightly more expensive. For this, since it's a historical weapon, ammunition for this isn't quite common. The bullets are $1.50, I believe.
€1.50. Yeah.
Yes, around. And they will tell you if you can go hunting with this, but
That's a 1 second because
Yes.
hunting in Malta, you
Okay.
can't hunt with
well,
rifles.
not in Malta, but you can go
You can
hunting
go abroad, yeah. Yeah,
like in
abroad, alright.
Sicily. A number of shooters
Mosquito
go.
to Malta.
Yeah.
So basically, you can have
Where
10
they're pointed
rifles
up.
or pistols.
Yes.
So the pistols as well. You can only have 10 maximum. Now you can have a rifle like that, an old one.
Or you can
And-
have
You can have anything, but basically, what I'm going to try to mention is you can have that on the target shooter collector's license, and even on the the collector's license, and you can even have it on the target license. So you can choose one of those. Now the law has changed, if I believe, and you can shoot even those that are on the collector's license that are obviously semi-automatic. So for example, if that was on the collector's license, you can shoot it at Goto, for example. So we can have some. We're going to show you some pistols, basically. That
this is 1971 or 1976, if I believe. Walter P1. It is, I believe, the remake or the copy of the Walter P1. Same mechanism, same thing. Although it has a pin here, so you can shoot as many rounds as you want. The Walter P1, since it's old, after 100 rounds, I heard it breaks. Or it has a malfunction. I don't know. Somebody told me. But this is a double action, which means you can either cock it from the side, or you can cock it from the exactly
Right.
the hammer.
By the way, all the rifles are safe and the rest,
Yes.
so don't worry. So that's a pistol. This is even considered a pistol by our laws, basically because of the barrel length. So there are no
And
restrictions.
also because of the ammunition.
Of course, 9mm, obviously, no, it's not a rifle rounds. So if it's a rifle, there's a restriction on the barrel. Obviously, you can't have a rifle with this kind of barrel, if I'm not mistaken. Now it takes off. This is a Chiappa Pac 9, PAK 9. There are no restrictions on butt stocks. All right. So I've put on the VZ58 butt stock on this. It takes Glock magazines. So this is considered pistol, and I can fire it in Malta. I don't go to those out. To fire it.
Unless the barrel is longer, which
Obviously,
means
yes, if the
it,
barrel is longer, I can't shoot
it
in Malta.
means it's considered to be a rifle barrel, so you have to go to goes. Although
Exactly.
if it might be a 9mm, such as the high point. The high point has a barrel
Yeah,
length.
Yeah, that
Although
would
it's
be-
although it's
an
9mm,
MP5,
you
that's
will
another
have to.
example. Alright, so that's a pistol. You can have. There aren't many restrictions on pistols. So I guess you can have one of these. This is another Desert Eagle 357 Magnum, double action. You can have one of these, you can have one of those. It's 9mm pistol, normal.
And also for the magazine capacity of these,
You can have anything.
15 rounds, 18 rounds, 5, 8 rounds.
You can see here I have the 30 round magazine from Glock, so there are no magazine capacities.
I just like to point out
Restrictions.
that also a lot of people from other countries, or they have strict gun laws, they end up coming here to Malta just to shoot guns, or they end up moving to Malta just because of the gun laws. A lot of British people, mainly ex-military, like the Royal Marines, they end up moving to Malta because of the gun laws. Couples from England, families from there, all come to Malta to shoot guns because in England, unfortunately, what I believe you can have a Desert Eagle, you have high-powered rifles, but everything has to be bolt action.
Yeah. even the
Revolvers
rifles.
are common, .22 is very common, but those are the only types of guns.
So
you
at
can
least
have.
the motor are a bit lenient. I'm lenient.
The laws of Malta are still strict, but they're fair on their
That's fair,
shooters.
exactly. That's
Fair
fair.
but strict.
So you can import actually I think everything from abroad. I guess as long as it fits
Yes.
our parameters. I mean, we have SIGs, SIG AR-15s,
Which a lot of people have to go crazy because when we tell them we have
AK-47
we have AR-15s, so now these are all empty.
Yep, these are all.
You can have for the AKs, you can have these vintage 30 round AK-47.
No
These are
restrictions.
these are actually Russian made. They're very nice. For ammunition, the amount of ammunition you can have at
Yeah, there's a
home.
limit. Yeah, there's a limit on that.
Before it was 5,000, but now they changed it to 7,000 rounds of ammunition. Or 7,000 of ammunition all in all. Not like 7,000 for this. So on.
Some thousands is a lot. I mean, you can't
7,000
carry these
for
weapons.
those,
You can't use them for defense.
no.
So it's used as stockpiling.
Self-defense,
There is a grey area, but
it's a very strange area.
It's a very grey area.
It's a very great. And
You're not allowed if you shoot someone. It's,
basically,
you'll
if
get a lot of trouble.
if someone invades your house
at night, these
At
were
night.
well, if I remember
at
correctly.
night and he has a knife and you have a gun, it's
There you'll still be in trouble.
you'll still be in
but maybe
trouble.
not.
And
But I don't know about
but if he has a gun, you have a gun. It's okay. You shoot him if, at nighttime.
never
At nighttime only. It's considered self-defense. If it's during the daytime, it's considered manslaughter. You might or might not get the blame. I'm not too sure on that one, but it's a very complicated
No,
and
I wouldn't go
confusing
into that.
matter. Well, I'm not gonna get into that.
So basically, yeah, this is a Spus 15. It's a shotgun. On these, yes, we have failed to mention that you can have as many as you like.
Yes.
You can have
Shotguns in
shotguns,
Malta are
air
very,
guns.
very common.
And
They've
even
been around.
tactically, you can own as much as you like. There isn't any limit on them.
No.
There's the limit on these, but if you have the collectors, you can still get what you want. I guess.
Shotguns have been around since even the 1940s. We had back then, mainly they were handmade, some bought them from the black market back in the day, because
Yeah, there was
since
regulated
we
that
were
much, I
ruled
guess.
by the British, we couldn't really have certain types of guns, except side by side. But those were the guns we can have back in the day. In the early 2000s, I believe, or late 90s, we Yeah.
We got the new laws.
Yes, we got the new laws
I
and
think
guns
2000s. What we didn't mention is why shotguns are popular in Malta. Basically, hunting here. Just about hunting. I'm not a big fan of hunting, but
Yeah,
I'm only a target shooter because usually when
But
people tell you
also,
you fire,
yeah.
shoot, you're a hunter. No, no.
Yeah, everyone, when you're a gun owner in Malta, everyone you talk to will say, oh, so you're a hunter,
Yeah.
oh, you're a soldier, oh, you're a police officer.
Yeah.
Those are the most common questions to have. Hunting-wise, hunting is a bit, it's not restricted.
There are laws about hunting.
There are
There
laws,
strict
but
laws about
strict
hunting.
laws mainly because of the bird life of Malta.
Obviously, yeah, there are even
And they had a lot of disputes. There was a referendum actually to ban hunting, but it
didn't pass.
didn't pass because mainly all the shooters in Malta thought, okay, so they ban hunting,
The next day,
and then they ban our guns. So everyone voted for hunting because everyone was
I
scared.
have no idea. Well, I mean, yeah, it
Well,
would be.
or that's
Now
what I
let's
heard
talk.
from some shooters.
Let's talk about hunting because obviously abroad, overseas, they hunt big game.
Yeah,
In Malta, we don't have any big game. Maybe rabbit hunting, if I heard.
Rabbit hunting, you can use air rifles,
Rifles and
Right.
22 long rifles, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken.
but
You can't use any of these
rabbits
big calibers.
are not that common to see in Malta.
Yeah, they're quite rare.
They're very rare. You might see a few here and there, but
No.
because the
Maybe
farmers.
there are designated areas. I don't have no idea.
Yes,
I have no idea.
birds. You have to be careful what type of birds. In fact, there's a course on birds hunting. You have to learn and know all types of birds in
So
Malta.
basically, yes, Malta hunting is strictly bird hunting. I guess.
Yes, but there's
Use
not
shotguns.
there's not a lot of birds to hunt. Since
Yeah, it's becoming rarer. The
Yes.
tradition is kind of going back. I mean, I don't know.
It's still here, but
You'll find a lot of hunters. I mean,
yeah. So there's a number of hunters.
no.
There's actually a lot of people who have guns in Malta.
Yeah, you can. There's even another license that you can own guns to keep, but they need to be hereditary. So basically, someone inheritance. Sorry. So
Like your
some-
uncle, your grandfather.
you kill my uncle.
No.
I mean, your uncle dies, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah,
and
yeah. If
the gun moves
if
on you.
one of your relatives dies, passes on the farm to you, you have to go to the police station. They'll register your guns.
But you
to
obviously you only have to keep it. You can't have
Yes.
ammunition for it, just for storage, basically.
Yes.
And for its value, I guess you can sell it.
You can resell any of these guns because
Yeah.
like the Mauser, the Mosin, the SKS,
Yeah.
or historical rifles. Their value goes up after a few years.
If I didn't fail to show this one, so
Yes.
it doesn't fit, I think. So yeah, if the values are always
And if they
going
have
up,
a pre-Bluetooth scope, it makes it even more expensive.
yeah. So we can mention as well because obviously in the States suppressors and some.
Suppressors have now become legal, as what I've been told by some shooters. Yes.
I didn't
But,
hear that. But according
yes.
to laws, till now they're illegal till now.
From what I heard from one,
In the future, so you're saying.
no, recently. Someone told
Depends
me-
on what, I guess. Maybe on air guns.
No. Someone told me this is a gun shop owner. He told me on a tactical Ismash AK-47 you can have a suppressor, but I'm not too sure. But that's what he
as far as
claims.
I know, you can't. Anyway, according to the law for now, unless it's changed in the future, you can't have any suppressors. I don't
But,
know the reason behind that. I guess it's because you can use it for assassination.
Yes,
or
or
something.
murders.
But fortunately for us owners, we have to shoot without them and for the.
But we don't really mind, to be honest.
But
No. I
but
mean,
it's still a good thing to have
uh,
suppressor while you're shooting at
you
the
can
range.
customize your gun. I'm thinking of customizing my AK to look just like Nathan's. He's at more of a tactical
Yeah, you
look.
can. As we mentioned, there are no restrictions on the stocks or rating. Obviously, the barrel there are restrictions. You can't just chop off the barrel.
No.
You need to change that on the license.
And that's a hassle. But you can give it new stocks, new scopes.
Anything you want.
You
No
can change the
restrictions.
muzzle brake if you want.
And obviously, suppressors are illegal, like we mentioned.
Um,
Full automatic is illegal unless it's the licensed one.
Shotguns, I like to mention, some laws have changed about ammunition of shotguns. shotguns generally back in the day you can only have bird shot for hunting or
Yeah,
clay pigeon.
obviously. Yeah, even in today, yeah, you can't have buckshot or slugs for hunting.
For hunting, no, but
for tactical,
for
yes, so
target shooting, you can
yeah,
have
you can have slugs,
You can have
buckshot,
slugs and buckshot. If you want to go overseas, like in Sicily and hunt, there you can use slugs for shotguns. You can use a Mauser because Italian laws are much different. You can use an SKS or an AK for hunting.
in abroad, obviously.
And abroad, obviously.
We're only talking abroad now.
But we wanted to make this video mainly because people don't really know
About Malta. Yeah.
about Malta and our gun laws. Because when you mention guns to outsiders, they go crazy because they think, wow, Malta has
Something,
guns.
yeah, something
I never
out of
knew
the
this.
blue,
What type of guns can you have and all these things.
Yes.
And obviously because of the shootings in America, they get scared. But to be honest, here
It's not that. It's not the same mentality. Malta,
No.
you don't find less bang. People
no.
saying less bang.
Actually,
You find, but very minimal. Not
to
like
be honest,
in
gun
Americas.
crime in Malta is actually quite low.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of gun
Yeah,
crime.
yeah.
Maybe
But
once a year, maybe once every 6 months, maybe.
Even in that case, it won't be by force killing. It would be like someone
either-
shot
it's either-
something or whatever.
It was either maybe sometimes self-defense, you find a one person, or you hear that the hunter shot an illegal bird,
Yeah, that's
or
it's common.
that's about it.
We can mention, because we mentioned that there are no restrictions on stocks, whatever. Actually, bump stocks have been banned because
Yes,
of the Vegas shooting.
Yes, although you don't really need a pop stock to actually.
Yeah, you can bump fire, I guess.
Yes.
So.
That's very illegal and Malta can't do that.
That firearms cannot be carried, like I earlier said, this stuff.
They're-
You can only carry them from your house, from your safe to the range, basically.
From
And
your
then
house
from the range
to the range and back.
You can't carry this
Although I
rifle in
would
the-
love to mention that there was gonna be such a law, but it never passed.
Which,
That you can keep and carry, but it never passed. Although I will mention this again, back in the 1970s or 80s, hunters would open carry their shotguns around. It was a very common thing.
yeah, it was common back in the day, I guess.
Because they didn't really take much notice.
But obviously times have changed. So you
Yes,
can't-
obviously. Regarding paintball and airsoft, back in the day you have to have an airgun license, I believe, for those types
You had to have a license or registered and
or membership for airsoft and paintball. But now laws have changed on that. You can just go and buy one. But if you're going
Over
to
the
use it
counter.
in a game, you have to register. You have to go to the police station and register it.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't do that. I mean, I'm not breaking any law.
I didn't do that either.
I think only need to inform the club you're going
Yes.
to the game with, I guess.
Yeah, I
to
think
take
so.
your details. That's it.
Obviously, there's a big difference from airsoft and paintball. Although airsoft guns do look and feel like actual guns, I do have an airsoft AK-47. It's made out of wood and real metal. It does feel like the real thing, but obviously it's all fake.
It's all fun. It's all for games.
I would love to
It's
mention you can have bows and arrows and archery. There are no license for archery, but there is an archery range. You can find one in Valletta at the
There are
shopping mall in Embassy, and you can find one in Hallia.
There's even in Malta, the Malta branch has a crossbow area,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken. There are, I think, a bit.
Yes,
but
but you can't have like obviously for arrows, it's just regular arrows. It's not like what you can see in the United States, exploding tips or anything like that. That's all
I
Call
don't
of
think
Duty.
they can actually own explosive tips. I don't have
I saw 2 videos in America where they had.
Alright.
Don't ask me where they got it.
Yeah, obviously for shot, while we're mentioning special rounds, for a shotgun as well, you can only have buckshot, slugs, and birdshot. You can't have like dragon breath or whatever.
No,
I guess.
I guess you can make dragon bread,
You
but
can make, but illegal.
it's
to shoot
illegal. And if you don't want to go to hospital, or jail, we suggest don't do it.
I think that's it. You need to.
Yes, I will mention this in our police force and army. You will see them with tactical shotguns like this. the army you'll find them with AK-47s. Obviously the AK-47 has been used by a number of armies. I've also seen US soldiers in Afghanistan and Syria using AK-47s, because when you run out of ammunition in your AR and you don't have time to go find ammunition, you just pick up an AK.
Yeah, we have a
Yes.
nice arsenal.
In the army, special forces use
I think they're using
ARs,
ARs like this one.
AR-6.
Yep.
The rest use AK-47s mainly because they're cheap and affordable, and ammunition is very easy to find. But you will find some of them traditionally, or they will be tactical, just like the CZ.
Yep.
Yes. And we do have an army, because a lot of people think that we don't. 4,000
I have
soldiers.
no idea, but yeah, we have an army, I guess.
Let's say almost 4,000 soldiers. I just want to find it, because people have asked me, does a mall have an army? Yes, we do.
I guess that's it.
That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned a lot. And we enjoyed explaining
The gun laws.
the gun laws.
Well,
And hopefully maybe we see you in Malta.
Sometime,
Someday.
contact me
Yeah.
if you want to go.
Yes.
I have a contact. Alright, so I'm Nathaniel, by the way, because we never mentioned.
Yes, Nathaniel, Christian.
Right, so see you.